world of folding phones. Now, at one time it was fantasy, it was imagination. We all wanted it. We all thought there will be a world where technology, devices, screens will all fold, bend, curve. But now that world is true, and the second device with a folding screen and a huge slew of them are now ready for coming out. But at this present moment, we're starting off on the Cell Guru show with this. This is the Moto Razr, an iconic phone. When the first Razr came out, of course, at that time, it was supposed to be just about the most ultimate phone, and we'll talk a lot more about that. But today, I'm going to actually unbox this one and give you my first impressions of this. This is the Moto Razr, the 2019, or now, of course, coming into India now, the 2020 version of it, and we'll actually unbox it. We'll come up with first impressions. We'll talk a lot about how folding phones are really evolving. Then we've got lots of other stories, including Tecno's brand new phone, quad camera with a pop-up at a very, very aggressive price. That and a whole lot more happening on the Cell Guru show.
Samsung brings the Z Flip to India for over ₹1 lakh. We bring you our first impressions of the flip phone that features the bending glass. We got our hands on the Moto Razr and we are very excited to tell you our thoughts on the phone. And yes, nostalgia did hit us. Tecno is back, and this time it has launched a phone which is all about optics. Watch our review to find out if the Camon 15 Pro is the best camera phone you can buy under 15,000 rupees. And in our Market Watch segment, we have products that can perform more than one task and are value for money.
And of course, before we get started, all the news coming in from all over, including the world of mobiles.
Google has banned hundreds of apps from the Play Store for obnoxious ads. Google's policy does not allow ads that display when an app is not in use or that trick users to click on ads by mistake. TikTok plans to roll out the family safety mode, which will allow parents to monitor their children's activities on the platform. The move is aimed at helping parents set limits on the time their children spend on the app. A huge chunk of TikTok users are teenagers and young adults, and hence TikTok has decided to give parents more control. There's a new brand set to enter the Indian market very soon. Part of the China's BBK Electronics Corporation, iQOO will be launching the iQOO 3. It is expected to be a high-end gaming phone which will be powered by Snapdragon 865, sensitive gaming triggers and 55 watts fast charging. We will review this phone next week on Cell Guru. Smartphone companies aim to break the glass ceiling with their products, but Samsung has literally managed to bend it this time with its latest Z Flip. It's a flip phone with glass that folds and is priced at ₹1,09,099 in India. We got our hands on the Z Flip for a few minutes, and here are our first impressions on the device. It's all glass. The front, the back, the screen is all glass. We thought it would be fragile from the looks of it, but once we held the device, it felt pretty solid. There's a protective layer on the glass, but that doesn't mean you go dropping this phone. The hinge mechanism is smoother than that of a Razr, which we liked. When we flip open the phone, we were hit by a beautiful 6.7 Infinity Flex display. The colors were bright and vibrant on the screen. When folded, there's a little 1x1 window screen for notifications, and we could also use it to click selfies, but honestly, peeping into it felt a bit weird. We thoroughly enjoyed the split screen view, and we think it's a great way to multitask, as the top half and the bottom half can host two different apps. There's a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel plus 12 megapixel lens, and then there is one 10 megapixel as the front camera on the display. It comes with all things and modes that you can find on most premium devices of Samsung, but we will talk about the optics more when we review the phone. Other features include a Snapdragon 855 Plus octa-core processor, 8GB RAM and 256GB internal storage. There's no micro SD card slot. It runs on Android 10 on top of Samsung's own UI. The Galaxy Z Flip will be available for consumers in India at ₹1,09,999 and will be delivered starting 26 February. The Z Flip designs the next phone to aspire for, and while it looks like a fashion accessory, the Z Flip is a perfectly good smartphone.
So let's get started now with this. This is the unboxing and first impression of the Moto Razr. Now, I have to tell you, first and foremost, it's the box in itself that you must really have a first impression about. This is what packaging is called. This is where packaging is taken to the next level. This is where I say that this is a piece of art, literally, even before I get down to the phone. But we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get into our first impressions. This is the phone, and remember, this is the full size, and then I can take it and I can make it exactly half. Now, this is where the entire idea of folding phones is evolving. You have a full-size phone. You can do two things with it. You can either, like I said, make it half, and then it fits very, very easy. In fact, I'm wearing jeans right now. Once it goes into my jeans pocket, it literally is gone. It's thin, it's light, and it's half the size of a normal phone, yet it gives you a full screen. The second part, folding phones are evolving where it would be this size, and I would open it out, it would become twice the size. That would be a tablet. Moto Razr went with half the phone, and I think it's a very intelligent decision because there are so many people out there that actually do want a phone that doesn't take up the kind of real estate that you really need on your own body to carry a phone. So it's a great idea. Then, the way they've actually gone about execution, style, material, the body, the way the front selfie camera works, it's all incredibly well done. Moto really thought this out very, very well. There's a lot of talk about, how's the processor, how's the performance. I think it's a moot point in every which way because this is not going to be a phone that is coming out there to make sure that it wins the world's most powerful phone. That's not the purpose of this phone. This is a phone that will actually give you a performance that is absolutely fantastic for what you want from a phone on a daily basis. Is it a gaming phone? We'll take a look at it when we go deeper into a review. But do remember, it has a chin. It has nothing else on the top. It has a lot of very other interesting things happening with it. So here then are our first impressions. The Moto Razr about to come out in India very, very soon.
The first of the flips is here. While Motorola still struggles to launch the Razr in the country, they were kind enough to give us the phone for a few hours, and here are our first impressions. The minute we were handed over the box, the experience to unflip the flipper began. A box that looks like a spaceship houses the phone, a phone holder, and a case which could be used as a cover for your glasses. This cover encases the charger and earphones. The packaging is unlike any that a brand has done so far. The holder has a grill which can be used to enhance the audio when the phone is placed in it. Thoughtful much? We couldn't wait to flip shut the phone, so we just began to do that. Flip and shut over and over again, and we have to say that we could feel the strong hinge mechanism, which even though required a little bit more effort in shutting the phone, it made us confident that we won't just break it. Nostalgia hit us as it looks almost like its predecessor, right down to the big curved chin, which now hosts a modern-day fingerprint scanner and a USB-C charging port. The display, when unfolded, is a 6.2-inch 21:9 plastic OLED panel that folds in half along the horizontal axis. There is also a second 2.7-inch glass-covered OLED display on the outside that Motorola calls the Quick View display. It can show notifications, music controls, and even a selfie camera mode to take advantage of the better main camera. Watching videos on the narrow screen wasn't bad, and we liked that the phone can easily be used with one hand. However, to open the phone, you do need help from both your hands. The crease is minimal on the screen, and we noticed how nicely the plastic screen slides in and out when opening and closing the phone. We quickly got to try the camera, and it was decent, but we will tell you more in our review when we do that. Yes, Motorola has done a great job in reviving the icon and reinventing it. We fell in love with the future tech meeting of the old school concept, but you should buy it even if it costs a lakh of rupees. For that, wait for our review on the show.
And now let's move on to our next big review. This is the Tecno Camon 15 Pro. Last week we did speak about this phone, and I did tell you two phones are going to come out, the 15 and the 15 Pro. We've already got the 15 Pro with us. Now, lots of very aggressive high-spec features in this phone. Lots of very interesting things within the phone also. But if I have to really talk about some of the more interesting things, it would be great build quality, looks like a great phone, very nicely put together in terms of the materials, quad camera at the back and a pop-up selfie in the front at a very, very aggressive price. Here's our full review.
There is a reason why all smartphone brands bend backwards to include the best optics in their phones. That's because the better the camera, the better the sale. Tecno, with its next offering, is betting big on its optics with a quad camera setup and a pop-up camera, and is maintaining a modest price tag of 14,999 rupees. But in the process of including all the innuendos of a flagship smartphone camera, have there been any compromises made to the overall phone experience? Let's find out. First, we will start with the design. This by no means looks like a budget phone. Tecno has done a good job with the gradient effect on the rear panel. The only thing we feel is that it's a bit heavy, but nevertheless it has a super solid build quality. There's a fingerprint scanner at the back which works well. And there is face unlock on board too. The Tecno Camon 15 Pro comes with a large and sleek 6.5-inch FHD Plus screen with a rear full view display. There's no notch or punch hole camera to bother the real estate of the screen. The display is bright but lacks the punch. Coming to what this phone brags of, its optics. A 48-megapixel quad camera setup that includes a 48-megapixel main lens, 2-megapixel bokeh lens, 5-megapixel super wide and a macro lens and a QVGA lens. We clicked quite a few shots and it performed exceptionally well in almost all settings, be it the super night mode, bokeh mode or even the super macro shot. The phone produced good wide angle and normal clicks too. The camera is AI supported. There's a beauty mode which has two modes inbuilt, one for the face and one for the body. We weren't happy seeing the AI body shaping mode in the phone. We mean it's not cool at all. There's a mode called short video which supports beauty mode in video and can easily be shared, a feature good for content creators. The Camon 15 Pro comes with a 32-megapixel pop-up selfie camera which click good selfies, and the portrait mode can be applied to the front camera too. The super night mode impressed us the most, as even in really low light, the 15 Pro managed to capture the subject and surroundings well. Tecno has left no stone unturned for fitting in everything a today's camera phone can do, with both hardware and software. But how did they manage in this price tag?
We are focusing primarily in customers from T2 to T6 markets where aspirations are very high, means are not that high, so we want to give them high value products at a very affordable cost.
The phone also comes with a big 4000 mAh battery that can give you a comfortable 1 day of normal use. The phone handles multitasking very well with a 6GB RAM and 128GB of storage and a P35 octa-core processor, but be careful with overloading the phone with heavy gaming apps. The phone runs on Android 10 with high OS. We did find a lot of preloaded apps on board which honestly could be avoided. There is a game mode and there's an option to select the dark theme which is part of the drop-down menu, which is a nice touch. And now for the Sell Guru verdict. Priced at 14,999 rupees, the Tecno Camon 15 Pro makes a compelling case for itself as one of the best camera phones in the under 15K segment, with ample storage space and RAM on board. We do hope to see more devices from Tecno here on.
If I was to tell you just 10 years back, there was no iPad, would you believe me? Well, you should, because iPad has actually completed 10 years now, and we're actually celebrating that. The iPad was a game changer in every which way. It wasn't the first tablet. You have to understand, most people seem to think that the iPad was the first ever tablet. It really was the first ever tablet that literally made people want a tablet. Before that, it was a very niche market. I mean, Microsoft had some, there were other companies that had some, but a real tablet for people that wanted to use it and wanted to use it without any of the additional things that came with a tablet, where, you know, now we have things like a stylus and a keyboard where we're starting to use them as notebook replacements. But when the iPad came out, it really was a simple, straightforward device that was an absolute game changer. I remember the launch of the first iPad. It was an absolute and total revolution. Let's take a look at this journey. 10 years of the iPad.
It's been a whole decade since one gadget came and made our lives much easier and managed to introduce a whole new category in the tech world: the Apple iPad. Yes, it's already been 10 years since Steve Jobs waved it around proudly. And mocking netbooks that were all the rage then, he said, they're slow, they have low quality displays and they run clunky old PC software. Lo and behold, Apple's answer to these netbooks was a device that lets you hold the internet in your hands. And Jobs called it the best browsing experience you've ever had. Apple created a new category altogether, away from their iPhones and the MacBooks. And soon other companies followed suit, like Microsoft and Samsung. In fact, on its first day of sales 10 years back, Apple sold a whopping 3 lakh iPads. But the iPad has come a long way in the last 10 years. It still remains that in-between device that Jobs intended it to be. And it still has bezels, much to our dislike, but the camera has improved, the home button has gone, and the latest of course is its own iPad OS, with which one can now multitask. Snap on a keyboard for it to become a laptop on the go. or scribble quick notes and sketch with the Apple Pencil. Apple revolutionized the tablet market, but analysts now say that the tablet market itself seems to have a limited shelf life. The next decade of the iPad will be interesting. We will see if it will remain a category that bridges the gap between phones and laptops, or will it blossom into a fully fledged laptop and embrace its new form.
We'll take a quick break right now on the show. When we come back, lots more on Cell Guru. And now, of course, it's time for Market Watch, and Roobina has three very, very interesting products. Let's take a look at what she has.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Market Watch. I know it's been a while since we have met, but smartphone companies are to be blamed for that, as they have been launching phones after phones. But from here on, I promise that I will bring you quirky gadgets and accessories almost every week. Today, I'm going to show you three products that have really impressed me with their capabilities and price tags. I'm going to start with the new power bank from Xiaomi, the Redmi 10,000 mAh one. Now, Xiaomi launched two new power banks in the country, one of 10,000 mAh capacity and the other of 20,000 mAh. I have with me the 10,000 watt, which costs 799 rupees and supports up to 10 watt fast charging. The new Redmi power bank comes with dual input ports for USB Type-C and micro USB. It also has dual USB output, which lets users charge two devices simultaneously. The Redmi power bank also features a low power mode, which can be enabled by pressing the power button twice. This will adjust the power usage on the power bank and is customized for devices like fitness bands and Bluetooth headphones. Is this a notebook or is this a power bank? Well, it is both. This is the William Penn SUPERBOOK. Now, it obviously has a notebook inside it, and it has a power bank that can charge your phone both wirelessly and with wires. It has a pen holder, a card holder. It even acts as your stand for your phone. It has a 16 GB flash drive. So this is like an all one-man army sort of a thing here, and it costs about 7,500 rupees. The William Penn SUPERBOOK is a cool amalgamation of a power bank and a notebook. It comes with built-in 8,000 mAh wireless power bank, which enables us to charge the devices both by wire and wirelessly. Of course, for the wireless charging, you need a device that supports it. There is a removable 16 GB pen drive, part of the notebook buckle, which is quite inventive. There is an integrated stand to rest your phone on if you wish to watch videos. The SUPERBOOK comes with tangle-free nylon braided 3-in-1 charging cable, Apple Lightning, Android and C-Type for charging, which is impressive. And obviously this is a notebook, so it comes with an A5 size 192-page hardbound penline paper notebook, fully replaceable after use. Wait, and there are dedicated slots for pen, credit cards, bills and small documents. One word for this SUPERBOOK: outstanding. Now let's move on to one of the most trending categories of the season, the in-ear headphones. I have one from XECH. The X factor about this product is that the wireless case also doubles up as a power bank. The X2 TWS wireless headset is tiny but fit most ears. It delivers good audio and call quality, but not the best in the market. It can easily be paired with almost all devices via Bluetooth. The case functions as a detachable 1600 mAh power bank. The X2 TWS is IPX5 level splash proof and costs 4,999 rupees. That then was Market Watch for this week. I really hope you liked the products. Do write to me with your feedback or suggestions to sellguru@ndtv.com. See you next week.
That then was the Cell Guru show for this week. But do remember, now we are warmed up. We're at that starting lineup. We're now ready to sprint. What am I talking about? Look, everything that didn't happen at the Mobile World Congress is now starting to come into India. It's coming at a frantic pace. We've got announcements and launches by the dozens. So literally every week, there's only one place for you to come in and make sure that you get your absolute total and absolute fulfillment of everything tech from the world of mobiles. It's Cell Guru. I'll see you next week.